The Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion has prepared a draft cabinet note that proposes to allow up to 100% foreign investment in defence manufacturing. The move comes 2 days after Nirmala Sitharaman took charge as the country's new Commerce and Industries Minister. On Tuesday, the interim Defence Minister Arun Jaitley indicated that he would consider the matter of investment from abroad in the defence sector. This cabinet note signals a serious message from the Narendra Modi Government to foreign as well as domestic investors. It is an invitation really to foreign companies to help prop up India's defence manufacturing industry. At present, it's at a very nascent stage, and the move will ultimately help in modernizing India's armed forces. So that was Bharat Verma, who is a defence expert. He also edits a defence industry magazine. We also heard from Manish Tiwari, a Congress leader. Here's what he had to say about the government's move.
Joining us now is senior Congress leader and former Information Broadcasting Minister, Mr. Manish Tiwari. Sir, the Modi government has given a 10-point agenda. How do you respond to that, sir?
Well, I think the one thing which is extremely significant in the 10-point agenda is that neither is it innovative nor is it inspiring. It is in fact old hat. I would not like to use the cliched terminology of being old wine in an old bottle, for the simple reason that whatever has been enumerated is exactly what a government is supposed to be doing in the course of its day-to-day functioning. So therefore, where is any original thought, or where is any original idea which this 10-point agenda brings to the table, unless and until it has escaped my limited intelligence, I would only characterize it as old hat.
So now they're also saying that they've increased FDI in defense to 100%. So what is your reaction to it, sir?
Well, I have seen certain reports in certain newspapers that the government apparently intends to increase foreign direct investment in defense. If I remember correctly from the top of my head, the regime as it stands today is that 26% FDI in defense is on the automatic route, 49% is with FIBP approval, and beyond 49%, it is on a case-to-case basis with approval from the Cabinet Committee on Security. So, ipso facto, there is a provision, or there is a route which allows 100% FDI in defense on a theoretical basis. And the practical example of that is that if you look at the BrahMos project, if I remember correctly, I think 51% of the equity is being held by the Russian joint venture partner. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see as to what exactly does the government intend putting on the table. How does it flesh out the proposal, or how does it flesh out the policy regime from where it stands at this point in time. So we'll have to wait and see, because conceptually, as I pointed out to you, 100% FDI in defense is possible as we speak.
Sir, now a different topic. There have been a lot of voices which have been raised within the Congress. Mr. Mustafa has been suspended. Milind Deora spoke something. Mr. K.C. Deo spoke something. So, do you think that it's been such a defeat? There has been no internal action as far as the Congress party is concerned.
Well, I think you need to make a distinction between introspection.
Manish Tiwari talking about another story that we'll be following up later in the bulletin. But I want to go to Ashar Khan, who interviewed him on his comments on FDI and defense. Ashar, Manish Tiwari is saying that this cabinet note that's being prepared by the DIPP it doesn't really contain anything new. And he offered a couple of examples from the past to suggest that foreign investment in defense can go up to 100%.
Well, absolutely. What the former Information and Broadcasting Minister was saying, that the 10-point agenda also of the government is to use the cliched word, old wine in old bottle. And he also gave an example as far as the foreign direct investment in defense is concerned, 26% comes through the automatic route, then you need an FIPB clearance, and after that you need a CCS clearance. He said that theoretically it is possible, and as far as practicality is concerned, the BrahMos example is pretty much there. So clearly the Congress party taking an aggressive line, trying to get to the government on individual and specific issues. That is what we've seen. In the last couple of days, we'd seen there was a silence as far as the Congress was concerned on policy matters, but it's just been about 3 to 4 days since the new government has taken over. It has given out its policies, and what we are seeing is that the Congress is now looking to target the government on these specific policies and on these specifics.
All right, Ashar, we also have Gaurav Sawant, our Strategic Affairs Editor, with us. Gaurav, you know, the Congress saying there's nothing new in this, but I guess if you read between the lines, what the Congress is saying is that they won't have a problem if Narendra Modi's government actually goes ahead with 100%, formalizing this 100% foreign investment in defense manufacturing.
Well, the devil lies in the detail. You may have had the CCS route, but how often was that CCS route used is point one, and point two, did it enthuse world's armed manufacturers to come to India? And the answer is no. Whatever policy was being followed so far did not enthuse the biggest arms manufacturers. The sad fact remains, India is the biggest importer of arms in the world. The sad fact also remains that we use most of our foreign exchange in importing arms, and yet our armed forces are woefully inadequately equipped. So what is the solution? The solution is to create an environment where arms manufacturers would find it profitable for themselves to invest in India, to set up a factory, to set up a hub, a manufacturing hub in India. How will that happen if they see there is profit? We've been speaking to our sources in the government. Now, this is just an intent. They're talking about considering. In fact, Arun Jaitley spoke of 26% cap on FDI in defense. Raise it to 49%, but that 49% has also not enthused the arms manufacturers. What are the platforms you want it for? Nobody in the world will give you cutting edge critical technology that you need. For example, for missiles, you want it for your missiles, you're not getting it. Ballistic missile defense, we asked the United States, it did not happen. If you're looking, what are the platforms you're looking for? Fighter jets, you want subcomponents, you want assemblies, you do not want to reinvent the wheel, and that is where this should come handy should the government actually go through with it.
And you know, Gaurav, coming back to that point about reinventing the wheel, because that's pretty much what India has been trying to do, and getting horribly delayed on many key projects, among them the light combat aircraft, probably top of the list.
You're spot on. You tried to manufacture that aircraft in 1983, and it's still not a part of the Indian Air Force in its weaponized forms. How many years you've lost? Over 3 decades. Whether you're looking for that American GE404 engine, you haven't been able to manufacture your own Kaveri engine. If it's available abroad, pick it up, learn, let there be transfer of technology, and those are things that India needs to look at. Whether it's manufacturing fighter jets, whether it's getting, you haven't been able to get artillery since 1987. Bofors was your last acquisition, and after that, it's been 3 decades you haven't been able to modernize your artillery. You're woefully inadequately equipped in the mountains or in the deserts. You're not willing to buy new guns. So all of this, the right environment needs to be created. Your own metallurgy skills are not up to the mark for you to be able to manufacture 155 mm howitzers. It's the same with ships. You need critical technology, you need subcomponents, you need technology, you need these countries to come into India, to set up those hubs in India, so that you also get jobs here in those areas, and then perhaps, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, look at exporting these weapons and earning foreign exchange instead of losing forex.
Okay, Gaurav Sawant, Ashar Khan, many thanks for that story.